The rise and fall of Ticks and Roses is one of the strangest stories TikTok has ever seen. It started as a heartfelt attempt to raise awareness for Tourette's syndrome.
Hey, it's Emerald. Figured I would take some time today to show you guys some stuff to help with my Tourette's. So first we have this little fidget toy that makes little poppy sounds. It's really good at keeping me a little quieter during Zoom staff meetings, so I'm not as active. Same with like the little fidget cubes. Those are also helpful. Another big one is these little chewable necklaces.
And ended as one of the most talked about controversies on the entire platform. What began as a message of compassion turned into a cautionary tale about the danger of losing authenticity online. When Emerald Rose first appeared on TikTok, their account felt genuine and relatable. They shared clips of themselves living with Tourette's, showing how tics could interrupt everyday life. People who didn't understand the condition suddenly had a window into it. The videos felt honest, educational, and even uplifting. Followers grew by the thousands. Emerald sold merch that claimed to raise awareness, and for a short while, they became a minor celebrity in the disability awareness community. But as more people discovered their content, doubts began to appear. Something about the videos didn't seem right. The tics looked exaggerated, almost theatrical. In one video, Emerald claimed to have a severe tic episode while driving, yet they were somehow calm enough to record the entire thing on their phone. People who actually live with Tourette's pointed out that this didn't make sense. Having tics that strong while driving would be dangerous, and the way the tics appeared perfectly spaced between sentences made them look suspiciously deliberate.
Wow, 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 wow. Sorry. Speed bump. Do you want a race? 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 Do you want a race?
That's when the internet started digging. Viewers began comparing Emerald's clips to real cases of Tourette's, noticing how Emerald's tics always seemed to fit the context of what they were saying, almost like scripted jokes. Like, one creator who actually has Tourette's said, "It just doesn't work like that. Tics are random. They don't follow rhyme schemes or appear on command." What was supposed to be awareness started looking like performance. Soon, Reddit threads popped up dedicated entirely to investigating whether Ticks and Roses was faking. People began to find other accounts linked to Emerald, old YouTube videos, live streams, and business pages where they spoke calmly for long stretches without a single tic. In one clip filmed on the same day as the supposed tic attack, Emerald was perfectly fine. That contrast raised serious questions. As these findings spread, the backlash exploded. People who genuinely had Tourette's were furious. Many said they were now getting accused of faking their own tics because of Emerald's videos. The entire community that had supported Ticks and Roses began turning against them. What had started as awareness was now being seen as misinformation. In response, Emerald tried to explain. They said their tics began in childhood, went away for years, and recently returned after new medication. Some followers believed it, but most didn't. And then Emerald made things worse by posting what they claimed was an official medical report proving they had been diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. At first, this seemed like the smoking gun that would clear their name, but when people looked closer, they noticed things that didn't add up. The report repeated diagnoses, used unusual wording, and even featured a hospital logo that turned out to be an old image from Google. The genuine logo used by that hospital had changed years before. To viewers, it looked like Emerald had forged medical papers to defend themselves. That discovery completely destroyed their credibility. The internet went from suspicious to outraged. Petitions were made to have the account banned. The comments turned toxic. Their name became synonymous with faking disorders for clout. And as the pressure built, Emerald released a tearful statement saying they were quitting TikTok due to harassment, vandalism, and fear for their family's safety. They said they were being unfairly attacked and that people were spreading lies about them. But to the public, it sounded more like damage control than accountability. Just when the situation couldn't get worse, a post appeared on Reddit that claimed to be from Emerald's own sister. She confirmed that Huntington's disease did run in their family, but said Emerald never had Tourette's as a child. She described a pattern of exaggeration and attention-seeking behavior that had existed long before TikTok. That single comment became the final nail in the coffin. When even your own family is questioning your story, it's nearly impossible to regain trust. After that, TicsandRoses vanished and the main TikTok account was deleted, the merch stores were shut down. But strangely, Emerald continued posting on a separate page related to spirituality and witchcraft as if nothing had happened. They said they weren't doing Tourette's awareness anymore because they'd been bullied off the internet. To many, this came off as manipulative. People wanted an apology, not excuses. Even when Emerald returned months later, they doubled down. They insisted they still had a clinical diagnosis and that they simply stopped recording their tics for their own mental health. But by then, the audience had made up its mind. Every video they posted was flooded with comments reminding them of the scandal. The internet doesn't easily forgive, and this case was no exception. The whole story of TicsandRoses became a symbol of how fragile online trust really is. In a world where anyone can build a following overnight, authenticity is everything. If viewers even suspect dishonesty, it spreads faster than any positive message ever could. Whether Emerald genuinely believed what they were saying, misunderstood their own condition, or intentionally fabricated the story for attention, the damage was the same. Real people living with Tourette's had to deal with increased skepticism because of one viral creator's actions. There's also a bigger lesson here about the internet itself. On one hand, it allows people to share their stories and raise awareness about important issues. On the other, it rewards drama, exaggeration, and performance. Sometimes those incentives blur the line between sincerity and spectacle. What happened with TicsandRoses shows how dangerous that mix can be. When real disorders become trends, misinformation spreads and trust erodes. If there's one takeaway, it's that empathy should never replace evidence. When someone shares a medical or personal story online, believe them, but also understand that honesty matters. The internet can amplify kindness just as easily as it amplifies lies. And when the truth comes out, the consequences can last forever. The fall of TicsandRoses is more than just a TikTok scandal. It's a warning about the price of internet fame and how quickly it can all collapse. Whether this was a deliberate deception or a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, it left a trail of broken trust, angry communities, and a reminder that the truth always finds its way to the surface. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe for more stories about online controversies, influencer downfalls, and the strange world of internet culture. And tell me in the comments, where should the line be drawn between awareness and or attention seeking? Because in cases like this, that line can mean everything.